The baby was perfect. 10 fingers, 10 toes, healthy lungs. But when the nurse handed her to Jerome Bolton, he froze. His skin was dark brown. His girlfriend Lorelein's skin was dark brown. But the baby in his arms had skin so light it was almost golden. And in that moment, staring at his daughter's face, doubt crept in. A doubt he couldn't shake. A doubt that brought him here, to this courtroom, holding a relationship in the balance. For years, Lauren Lake has presided over moments families fear and need the most. Calm presence, firm voice. In her courtroom, truth doesn't entertain, it decides. And today, a family would learn whether love was built on truth or whether suspicion had poisoned something real. Because sometimes, the hardest questions aren't about biology, they're about trust. The courtroom was tense. Jerome Bolton sat on one side, hands clasped on the table. 26 years old, dark skin, strong build, eyes locked forward. Across from him sat Lorelein Bido, 23, dark skin, long hair pulled back. She looked furious, not scared, furious. And between them, in the judge's hands, one envelope that could save their relationship or end it forever. The judge looked at Jerome. Mr. Bolton, you've petitioned this court for a DNA test on your 7-month-old daughter, Iliana. You and Miss Bido have been together for 2 years. You were present at Iliana's birth. But you're questioning whether you're her biological father. Can you tell this court why? Jerome's voice was steady, controlled. Your Honor, when Iliana was born, I noticed right away that she was very light-skinned, much lighter than either me or Lorelein, and I kept thinking, how is this possible? Both of us are dark-skinned. Our families are dark-skinned, but Iliana, she doesn't look like either of us. And what did Miss Bido say when you brought this up? She got angry, told me I was being ridiculous, told me genetics don't work the way I think they do. The judge turned to Lorelein. Miss Bido, is that accurate? Lorelein's voice was sharp. Yes, because he is being ridiculous. That's my daughter, our daughter. And instead of trusting me, he's sitting here questioning whether I cheated. Did you? No. Then why are you so angry? Because after 2 years together, after I gave birth to his child, he doesn't believe me. He thinks I'm a liar. How am I supposed to feel? The judge leaned back. Mr. Bolton, skin tone can vary significantly in babies, especially in the first year. Babies are often lighter at birth and darken as they grow. Did you know that? Jerome shifted. I've heard that, but it's been 7 months, and Iliana is still very light. Lighter than any baby in either of our families. Have you seen pictures of Miss Bido as a baby? Lorelein interrupted. I showed him. I was light as a baby too, but he doesn't care. He's already made up his mind. That's not true, Jerome said, turning to her. I want to believe you, but I need to know for sure. Why? Why can't you just trust me? Because doubt doesn't go away just because you want it to. And I can't raise a child wondering if she's mine. The judge raised a hand. Mr. Bolton, has Miss Bido given you any reason to doubt her faithfulness during your relationship? Jerome hesitated. No, not directly. What does that mean? It means there's no smoking gun, no texts, no proof. Just my gut feeling when I look at Iliana. And that gut feeling is enough to bring her to court. Yes, Your Honor. Because if I'm wrong, this test will prove it. And if I'm right, he stopped. Then I need to know. The judge turned to Lorelein. Miss Bido, you've been very vocal about your anger toward Mr. Bolton for requesting this test. But I need to ask you directly. Is there any possibility that someone other than Mr. Bolton is Iliana's biological father? Lorelein's eyes flashed. No, none, zero. He is her father, and this whole thing is insulting. Have you been intimate with anyone else during your relationship with Mr. Bolton? No, not even once. Not even once. The judge studied her. Miss Bido, you seem very confident. Because I am. I know who my daughter's father is. And it's him. She pointed at Jerome. But he doesn't trust me. And that's what hurts. Jerome spoke quietly. It's not about trust. It's about what I see every time I look at her. What you see is your daughter, Lorelein said, voice breaking now. That's what you see. Or at least, that's what you should see. The judge leaned forward. Mr. Bolton, let me ask you something. In the 7 months since Iliana was born, have you bonded with her? Jerome's face softened. Yes. Do you love her? Yes. And if this test comes back and you are her biological father, what happens? Then I'll apologize, and I'll spend the rest of my life making this up to both of them. And if you're not, Jerome's jaw tightened, then I'll deal with that when it happens. Lorelein shook her head. This is insane. I can't believe I'm sitting here defending myself for something I didn't do. The judge turned to her. Miss Beto, I understand your frustration, but Mr. Bolton has a right to certainty, just as you have a right to defend yourself. I shouldn't have to defend myself. He should just believe me. Belief isn't always enough. Sometimes people need proof, even when it destroys the relationship. Even then, the courtroom went quiet. The weight of what was happening settled over everyone. This wasn't just a paternity test. This was a relationship on trial. And whatever the result, something had already been broken. The judge picked up the envelope. We conducted DNA testing on Iliana Bolton and Jerome Bolton. This test will determine whether Mr. Bolton is Iliana's biological father. She opened it slowly. The sound of the paper was the only thing in the room. She read it. Her expression didn't change. Then she looked up. In the matter of Iliana Bolton regarding paternity, she paused, looked at Jerome. Mr. Jerome Bolton, according to these DNA results, the room held its breath. You are the biological father of Iliana Bolton. Lorelein's hands flew to her face. She started crying, not sad tears, vindicated tears. Jerome's head dropped. He closed his eyes, his shoulders sagged, relief and shame all at once. The audience erupted in applause and gasps. The judge raised her hand for quiet. Mr. Bolton, how are you feeling right now? Jerome looked up. His eyes were wet, relieved, and ashamed. Why ashamed? Because I doubted her. Because I put her through this. Because I was wrong. The judge turned to Lorelein. Miss Beto, Mr. Bolton is Iliana's biological father. How do you feel? Lorelein was still crying. I feel angry and hurt and relieved all at the same time. Do you think this relationship can survive this? Lorelein looked at Jerome. He was staring at the table. I don't know. He didn't trust me. How do we come back from that? The judge spoke carefully. Trust is the foundation of any relationship, and Mr. Bolton damaged that foundation by questioning you. But she paused. I also want to say something to Mr. Bolton. You made a mistake, but you were honest about your doubts, and you sought the truth instead of just walking away. That counts for something. Jerome looked up. I just wanted to know I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Lorelein was still crying. You should be. The judge waited a moment. Then, Mr. Bolton, is there anything you want to say to Miss Beto? Jerome stood up, slowly. He reached into his pocket, pulled out a small box. The entire courtroom gasped. Lorelein's eyes went wide. Jerome walked around the table, dropped to one knee in front of her, opened the box. Inside was a ring. Lorelein, he said, voice shaking, I know I messed up. I know I hurt you, but I love you, and I love our daughter. And I want to spend the rest of my life proving to you that I'll never doubt you again. He paused. Will you marry me? The courtroom exploded. People stood, applauded, cheered. Lorelein put her hands over her mouth, tears streaming. She looked at Jerome, then at the ring, then back at Jerome. You're serious? Yes. After all this? Because of all this. Because I almost lost you. And I don't want to lose you ever again. Lorelein was sobbing now, happy tears, angry tears, all of it mixed together. You're crazy. I know. You hurt me. I know. And you owe me the biggest apology of your life. I know. So, is that a yes? Lorelein laughed through her tears. Yes. Yes, you idiot. Yes. Jerome slid the ring on her finger, stood up, pulled her into his arms. The courtroom was on its feet, applauding, cheering. Even the judge was smiling. Congratulations, the judge said over the noise. Mr. Bolton, you have a lot of work to do to rebuild that trust. Miss Beto, you have every right to be angry, but you both have a daughter who needs you to make this work. So please, do the work. Go to counseling, communicate, and remember this moment because you almost lost each other. Don't let it happen again. Jerome nodded. Lorelein nodded. They were both still crying, but they were together. And for now, that was enough. Court is adjourned. People began filing out. Jerome and Lorelein stayed at the table for a long time, just holding each other. The judge walked over, shook both their hands. Take care of each other, she said, and they promised they would. In the months that followed, Jerome and Lorelein got married. Iliana was the flower girl, and Jerome never questioned his daughter's paternity again, not because the DNA test proved it, but because he'd learned something more important. That love isn't built on certainty, it's built on trust, and trust, once broken, takes a lifetime to rebuild. But it's worth it, because on the other side of doubt, if you're lucky, is the family you almost lost. Jerome bought Lorelein a journal after the proposal. On the first page, he wrote an apology. A real one. Not just "I'm sorry," but a full accounting of what he'd done wrong. How his doubt had hurt her. How his fear had poisoned something beautiful. And every week after that, he wrote her a letter. About Iliana's first tooth. About the way Lorelein smiled when she didn't know he was watching. About the guilt he still carried for putting her through that courtroom. Lorelein kept every letter. And on hard days, when the memory of that DNA test came back, when she felt the sting of not being believed, she'd read them. And remember that people make mistakes. That love isn't about being perfect. It's about showing up even after you've failed. Jerome showed up. Every single day. And slowly, the trust rebuilt. Not because of a ring. Not because of a test. But because he proved, over and over, that he wasn't going anywhere. That's what marriage is. Not a courtroom proposal. Not a moment of grand gesture. But 1,000 small choices to stay. To trust. To forgive. Even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard. For years, Lorelein has presided over moments families fear and need the most. But some cases end differently than others. Some end in heartbreak. And some end in proposals. Because sometimes the truth doesn't destroy a family. It saves one. And a man who doubted the woman he loved learned that the hardest thing in the world isn't asking for proof. It's admitting you were wrong and asking for forgiveness.